When is a real book tune not a real book tune? Hey, I'm Ron Drotos from KeyboardImprov.com. Thanks for joining me here for our journey through the real book number 162. And this is Cole Porter's classic song, I Love Paris. And it's not really a, quote, real book tune. That's the interesting thing. I'm really glad it's in there because it's one of my favorite songs. But it's not a jam session tune. It wasn't in the original real book. The students at Berkeley, when they made the original in the 70s, did not put it in. It's not something that you're going to necessarily go to a jam session and say, okay, let's play All the Things You Are and then I Love Paris. You know, what is that? You know, but it is a song that jazz musicians have played, and it's one of the great songs. I mean, I'm really glad it's in here in the newer edition because it broadens our scope as musicians, and we'll see that. So the song is Cole Porter. Cole Porter is one of those songwriters who wrote the lyrics and the music, along with Irving Berlin. And out of the classic Great American Songbook composers, there weren't too many. I think in the rock era, you know, Bob Dylan, the Beatles, you know, that's more common, mainly because people realized that they could get the publishing rights, you know, performers could write their own material. But usually there was a lyricist and then a composer, and they worked as a team. But Cole Porter did it himself, very witty. He was an influence on Bob Dylan. And the song I Love Paris is interesting because I did a little research because, well, I didn't have to go far. I know the song. But this is a Cole Porter songbook. And the verse to this song, which is out front, is not in here. But I know it because I did a vocal arrangement for the Greg Smith Singers once. I got to meet the composer's grant to write some arrangements for this well-known choir. And I remember the verse. You know, it's... it just sets up the scene, you know, every time I look down on this timeless town, whether blue or gray skies, it just sort of sets up the song. It's like a recitative, and then the part we have here is like the aria from opera. And but the main reason I brought this out, because I'm going to play that. I think for this song, you pretty much need that. Listen to the Ella Fitzgerald version. It's wonderful. The original... the reason I looked at this was because I wasn't sure if the original sheet music was straight eighths or swing eighths, whether it was like a sort of a Latin feel or some sort of begin, because people play that a lot. I like that a lot. But it says foxtrot, the dance, you know. Got this boom chink, but it's very sort of what's the word? It's very legato. It's not a lively foxtrot. It's beautiful. The song also has an unusual form. It's half minor, and then halfway through the song, it's the same motif, but it goes major. It's interesting when they get there. It's the fifth line down. They put in all these different chords here. Just for those four measures. The original is just a C chord. I don't know why they did that. Sometimes people like putting in extra chords because they think it's going to be boring. Staying on one chord could be very interesting, and that's how most people play it. The chords are not bad. I might play them one time through, but I generally just stay on a C6 chord there. So here's the question that all that brought me to is, how do you play this song? You know, it has a charming lyric about Paris and love and springtime, and you know, what better can you get than that, right? But it's not a song where the chords are very jazzy, although they work. So you could do the song and you could do it, you know, like with that sort of... Or you could do a little countermelody, like you could play around to the minor 7th, 6th, flat 6th. You know, semi-classical with some like Ravel type. Impressionist French composers' techniques there. It really works well on this. Some of the versions that sort of go there in the semi-classical way, the Ella does a little bit. The most famous, and it's wonderful, is by Michel Legrand. He was only 22. It was his big sort of claim to fame, and the name of the album is I Love Paris. Michel was French, and it starts even with that, like an accordion, you know, to evoke a street scene on Paris, in Paris streets. It's wonderful, and that's sort of in my head, even if I go jazzy. On the other hand, particularly the second half can be very big band, swing, or Oscar Peterson recorded it. You know, it has this classic thing, A from the end, where it goes from the 4 to the sharp 4, so it does kind of say jazz in that section. Charlie Parker recorded this. It's not necessarily one of his classics. I don't think he was having a really great day in the studio. It was near the end and he wasn't in good health. But he plays some really nice stuff on it, so check that out. It's interesting to see what Parker does over an extended minor chord, because that didn't happen on too many of his recordings. So I think what I'm going to do is start with the verse out of tempo. Explore some little inner voice motion there, have fun with that, and then go into this with straight eighths, and I'm not going to force the swing to happen. I'm not going to say, okay, right now I'm going to swing. I'm just going to sort of let it happen, and I'm not sure where that's going to take place, but and maybe it won't, but I suspect it will, certainly by the last 8 measures at some point. And I'm not sure how I'm going to end it. I might just end it really big, you know, big band. Go back to that, you know, sort of Michel Legrand with the accordion player, not really sure. So here's the verse. So I went back to that sort of slower or more subdued, sort of atmospheric thing at the end with C minor. And one thing that I notice I've been doing lately is playing the melody sometimes in the left hand. With a little sort of harp kind of thing, or a fast flute or something up there. And then, yeah, just really sort of, Oscar Peterson 101, just real good swing solo piano, or kind of evoking a trio. So I think the big lesson that I was reminded of here and to take with you is that a song like this, it's good to investigate different versions. It's not necessarily a straight ahead jazz tune. And check out the original for the verses, or just to get some ideas, and come to them not just as notes on the page, but as a song. I Love Paris. It has a history, it has a lyric, and it has different interpretations which we can draw from or not, depending on what we want to do. But the more informed we are, the better we'll be able to play the tune and express what we want to express from it. So thanks for being here. If you're interested in lessons, I teach on Skype, Zoom. Love to help you get to whatever, past any, whatever barrier or hurdle you're at. If you need to master voicings or learn tunes or whatever it is. I like working with beginners. I get emails saying, I'm a real beginner, I'm not sure if you take beginners. I'd love working with beginners because that's the exciting thing, just getting started. I can do this, I can do that. That inspires me as well. All the way through, I work with professionals as well. So thank you, good luck with your playing, and I'll see you in the next video, which is another Cole Porter, I Love You. I'm not saying I love you, although I might, but the tune is called I Love You. See you then.